Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about some kind of like Git workflow tips. What the hell is Git in general? How can I use this? And how can I use some of the tools that come with GitHub.com to manage my project and work with my partner or the rest of my team, whatever. I'm just gonna kind of like go through this. If you have questions, stop me. If there's something you want to like go over again, you can always watch the video too about like what's going on. So generally speaking, right, like we refer to Git as something called a VCS. Does anybody know what VCS stands for? Version control system, right? Version control system. What does that sound like it does? What can we kind of infer that version control system might mean? Yeah. That's all it is. It's essentially just a means for me to travel back and forth through time, really. I can look at my project, my code at a particular point in time. I can create a snapshot of my code at a particular point in time. And that's what your commits are, right? Like we've seen this like kind of idea of like I create a commit, right? Basically what it is just a snapshot of like what was happening at this point in time, what was happening at this point in time, what was happening at this point in time, what was happening in this point in time. So let's say like that I wanted to create a new snapshot, right? Like like I've made some changes to this document. I'm going to open up my terminal and I'm going to call git status. Since this is a project being tracked by Git, right? If I look ls-a, I can see that there's actually a folder here called .git. And that's actually where everything about my project is being stored. If I ls .git, I can see all the stuff that's inside of this Git folder, right? This is actually where the information about this Git project is being stored. So I can say, hey, Git, can you tell me what the current status is of my project, right? I issue git status, and it's going to tell me, oh, great. You're on branch master. We'll talk about branches in a second. Your branch is up to date with origin master. We'll also talk about what that means. Changes not staged for commit. Does anybody know what this means? Changes not staged for commit.
Yeah, when you make any changes, there's a staging area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, before I want to make one of these little snapshots, I have to add my files to the pre-commit area, right? The staging area. So there's my project, right? I've made some changes, then I add them to the staging area, and then I actually take the snapshot. So what this is telling me is, hey, you changed this file, but it's not currently in this pre-commit stage or the staging area. So if I want to add this to the staging area, does anybody know what the command is for that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can say git add, right, the folder and then the name of the file, right? I can also say git add dot if there's a bunch of files and I just want to add all of them. And now if I call git status again, great. Changes to be committed. So this is saying, great, this is what's currently in the staging area. This is like if you decide to commit, all the files and their changes in this staging area will be added to this snapshot when we like basically take a photo of our code at this point in time. So if I want to actually take a snapshot, all I have to do is say, hey, Git, can you commit the files that are in the staging area? And we can specify a message, and let's say added Git branch diagram to README, because that's actually what I did. Right, this is kind of an interest, like a meta lecture, because we're working on a README about Git to talk about Git, but whatever. So I'm going to commit these files and say, hey, this is what's happened, right, since the last snapshot, right? Generally, our commit message should say something about the changes we've made, basically since the last time we like took a photo or took a snapshot. So if I commit, great. I'm going to say added Git branch diagram to README, one file changed, 6 insertions, 1 deletion. That means that one line was deleted, 6 things were like added to this particular project, right? And now if I call git status again, I'm actually going to get your branch is ahead of origin master by 1 commit or 1 snapshot. What does this mean when we say origin master?
The remote.
What is the remote?
The same code but on GitHub.
Yeah, typically when I'm working on a Git project with GitHub or Bitbucket or any of the other, right? Like GitHub is one of a couple of different like kind of cloud-based Git options, right? We just happen to use GitHub, it's pretty popular, but there's other websites and applications that do similar things. The remote, right, is just telling us there's basically two copies or two versions of our project. There's the what Git locally has stored on my machine, so saved on the hard drive of my computer is the status of this project. There's then a copy of that lives on GitHub. For example, if I say git log number of commits, let's look at the last 4 commits and condense them to one line. The git log command just allows me to see like all of the commits ever. I'm going to just specify only the last 4 commits, and I want to condense them so they all print out on one line. Make sense? Question about this particular command? So I see, great, added git branch diagram. So this is my last commit. It says origin master, origin head, uploaded code organization, added git workshop, nearly done git workshop. If I go to GitHub, I should expect that this last or most recent commit is not there, right? Because this commit is only on my machine, on my hard drive, on my computer, not actually on GitHub. So if I go to this repository and I take a look at the commits, we'll see the most recent commit is uploading code organization. And we can see, great, right? And Git is actually going to tell me origin master, right? Like origin being the remote branch. This is the most recent commit on the remote branch, is uploading code organization. As we can see, that's reflected on github.com. So if I want to take this commit that's on my machine and push it up to GitHub, does anybody know what the command is? Git push. Git push. We'll just take what's on my hard drive, what's on my local copy of this Git repository, and add it to GitHub, right? So this is this idea that there's these 2 copies of our Git project, and they can kind of become out of order, right? They can become out of sync. So we can see here, right? We pushed it up. If I refresh the page, I will now see the most recent commit, added Git branch diagram to README. And now, if I call git status, Git will tell me, great, nothing to commit, working tree clean. In other words, we're now even, right? What's on the remote and what's on my local machine are even. Questions about this so far? Yes?
So when you git commit with the message, that remains in that staging area until you push it up to...
Until you commit, right? So the staging area is just the pre-commit stage. Once I've committed, those files are no longer in the staging area, they've been committed, right? It's like staging area, then commit happens, staging area is like kind of set back. Yeah, the staging area is just a pre-commit stage. So what we've done so far, according to this diagram, right, I've created a new snapshot here, right, and pushed it up to GitHub. But, right, when we're working on a project, let's imagine that your master branch is what's deployed to production. Who thinks that we should just be like pushing willy-nilly to our production code, potentially breaking our entire application and pissing off all of our users? Great idea, right? Wouldn't it be great if we could leave our master branch, some like working canonical branch, alone while we're working on things until they're actually fully tested and ready to be added to our application? That's what branching allows us to do. We can just take our code, right? Like, so say from this point in time, and I'm just going to branch off in another direction. So master can continue moving ahead, right? There's another commit here, and my little feature is up here, right? And I keep working along without breaking anything on master. So what I can do is I can just say, let's imagine that I wanted to make a new feature, and this is what I would recommend everybody do, right? In terms of your workflow, right? Let's say that I'm working on a new feature for my application. I should check out a new branch, right? Master should always be working. Your other branches can be broken, that's fine, because they don't affect what's happening in master, right? Think of master as like your production version of your app. It should always be working. So if I want to make a new branch, I can just say git checkout -b. This flag that I specify -b is saying, hey Git, can you actually make a new branch and switch over to it? And let's call this, I don't know, add add comment feature or something like that, right? Something that's kind of descriptive about like what we're doing in this branch. Like the purpose of this branch is to add a new feature. It's called the comment feature. So if we look through the branches, it's kind of clear based on the title, right? What it's supposed to be doing. I hit enter, and now we can say switch to a new branch, add comment feature. If I call get status, it'll tell me on branch, add comment feature, nothing to commit, working tree clean. In other words, I haven't actually made any changes, but I'm on a new branch, right? If I call get branch just by itself, Git will tell me all of the branches that I have. I'm currently on add comment feature. I have another branch called master that I'm not currently working on. So I'm now here, right? I've kind of branched off in another direction. And let's say that I wanted to make a new feature. I don't know, I'll have to make some arbitrary change to this. Wow. Oh, wow. Yes. I know. Copy image address. Wow. Okay. So I've added a new feature, right? I've changed some code. I've changed something about my master, my new branch, right? Has master changed at this point in time? No, right? Master is left alone, and I'm kind of like working in another place, right? I've created like a new timeline, quote unquote, for my application. If I call get status from here, I can see, oh, great. On branch, add commit feature. Changes not staged for commit, right? Nothing is currently in the staging area, but we can see that we've actually modified a file called 42 git workshop readme.md. Another thing that I can also I can do is I can say git diff master, right? Git, tell me the difference between my current branch and master. And I can see, right, the difference is I made a new line here, a new line here, a new line here, and then this, wow, look at that dog, and then my image, right? It'll actually tell me like what's the difference between my current branch and the master branch. If this looks good to me, right, like, okay, great, none of these are unintended changes. This looks like the code that I wanted to change. Great. Let me go ahead and I'm going to say git add 42 readme.md, right? Now if I call git status, I can see, great, changes to be committed. So now this file is in the staging area, in the pre-commit stage. Let's say that I want to create a snapshot. I just say git commit-m, and we can say added dog image for, I don't know, for fun. Okay, I call get status again. We can see on branch add commit feature, nothing to commit, working directory clean. But if I go to github.com, right, and I look at my branches, how many branches do I currently have, right? I refresh and I see how many branches do I currently have here? Just one. But let's say that I want my partner, or more specifically the rest of my team, to review these changes before they make it into master, right? Hopefully, ideally, at least one other person looks at your code before it ends up in master, right? This is usually the code review portion. Someone will take a look and say, hey, the way that you're doing this could be optimized or whatever. Like, why did you choose to do it this way or whatever, right? Like, add comments, and then we can like kind of talk about the new code before adding it into master, right? Like, we shouldn't just kind of like blindly add it in without getting some feedback. So what we can do is, let's say that I actually want to like add this. I can push this branch up and this new commit. So I can just say git push, right? By the way, you can also specify git push origin master, but if we just git push, it'll kind of default to doing that. We're not going to get into this today, but you can also have potentially different remote branches. For our purposes, we're just working with one remote, so we don't have to worry about that for right now. Okay. We can see, right, to github.com, right, new branch, add comment feature. And if I go back to GitHub, right, and I refresh, I take a look at my branches, I now have a new branch called add comment feature. If I go back to like the kind of root of this repository, GitHub is going to be super nice to me and say, hey, I noticed that you pushed up a new branch. Do you actually want to like submit a pull request? In other words, like submit a request for your new code from your new branch to be merged into master. So what I can do is say compare and pull request. So right? Able to merge. This is going to tell me, oh, great, there's no merge conflicts, which we can get into in a little bit. Add dog image for fun, and I can say something like our users requested more dogs. This solves the issue or something like that. If there was like an issue to reference, we can also get into that later, right? Great. And then we can also see the difference, right? 1 changed file, 4 additions, 0 deletions. We can see, right? We added our new image. Wow, look at that dog. So a pull request is just saying, hey, I want to take my new code and merge it into our master branch, right? In our diagram, we're currently here. We've created a little feature, and now I want to like actually add this into master. So what I can do is actually assign a review. Has anybody seen this, by the way? Has anybody looked at this? So there's a couple things we can do. I can say, hey, I'm going to assign myself to this, right? So like I'm kind of responsible for, I'm owning this pull request. And I want, let's say, I want Zach to review my pull request. And I also want Hamza to review my pull request. And so they'll actually get a notification like on GitHub in here that'll tell them, hey, Real Andrew Cohn has requested your review on a pull request. Take a look at the differences. Let us know what you think. So with your partner, I would recommend just going through this flow, right? Like add them as a reviewer. They can take a look, suggest changes. You can look at it together. They can also test out the code. Yeah, I'll see if I can show you that workflow, like what it looks like for the other person in a second. Then I'll go ahead and create my pull request. Great. And now, right, we can see that there's one open pull request. It says I want to merge 1 commit into master from add comment feature, the name of my branch. There's 2 reviewers on here. This is the person assigned to this particular pull request. We can see like what are the files that are changed. Okay, great. This looks good. You can also, right, GitHub is super, super nice to you. You can see there's like, if you view these command line instructions, you can actually say, hey, you know what? I can test this new code on my machine, make sure it's not broken. If it looks good, I'll approve the pull request. So I'll walk through this, like what it looks like from the other person in a second. Questions about this so far? Like, why do I want to make a pull request? What should my workflow look like? Cool. Assuming that this code looks good, right? Like Hamza and Zach both say, great, ready to merge, looks perfect. I can just click this merge pull request. And great. And I'm also going to go ahead and delete this branch, right? Like I don't really need this branch anymore. It's already been merged into master, right? You can keep this around if you want to continue working, but generally like once we branch off, merge in, we can kind of like get rid of that extra branch. Okay. And if we go back to our project and take a look at the commits, you'll notice that there's now a new commit, right? It says we merged something into master, right? We merged the pull request in. So now this new code is in our master branch. Anybody think that if I call git status, I'm going to see something about this? Probably, right? Let's find out. I call git status and let me git check out master. Great, here we go. So switch to branch master. Your branch is behind origin master by 2 commits. Does anybody know what git pull does?
Pulls down all the commits from their branch that were changed.
Yeah. Kind of like, what's the opposite of like pushing something? We push something up to GitHub, we can pull it back down. Really what git pull is, it's actually doing 2 things, right? There's 2 kind of like operations that it does in one. It's going to grab all the changes on our particular branch on GitHub and also merge them in with our local version of master, right? We've established that there's the master branch that lives on github.com, and then there's our copy of master that lives on our local machine. So what I can do is I can say git fetch, right? Which will go to GitHub, grab me all the changes. And now if I call git status, you can see, right? I can also look at git diff origin/master. So when I've pulled the code down, right, git pull is going to update, right? Like if I look at git branch -a, I can see, right, that there's a couple of different branches here. I have like origin master, right, on the remote, and I also have my local version of master. After git fetching, this copy of origin master has been updated on my machine. However, my master branch hasn't really been changed. So if I say like git diff origin/master, right? What's the difference between my version of master and what's on GitHub? And I can see, right? That's our difference. So if I want to make these even, I can just say git merge origin master. Great, right? And I call git status, and now we're even, right? I've taken the code that's on the remote master and added it to my local branch. If I wanted to kind of like do both of these in one, git pull will do that. It'll pull the changes down and merge them into your current branch. Yes?
What would happen if you made it this far and then you realized that change that you made did something you didn't expect?
Ooh. Okay, undoing changes. We'll come back to that. Yeah, there's a couple of different ways to do it. There's like, we can undo a change and like completely cover our tracks, pretend that it didn't exist. Like let's say I accidentally pushed up an API key and I want to like really like erase these commits from the history of my project. Or I just want to like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me leave this in the commit history that I made a mistake and I'm fixing it. Well, I'm going to push that until a little bit later. Questions about this so far? Branching, yes?
I'm getting a little confused when you're moving between branches and how your local like Atom file is, like what it looks like at a given moment. So
Local Atom file.
So you were in a different branch and you added that content to the README.
Right.
And you pushed it up and we did a pull request and then you moved back into your master branch.
Mm-hmm.
So on your local, it has that change, doesn't it?
Yeah, but, okay, here's what we did. On my machine, right, I was on master, I checked out a new branch, my feature was on this new branch, but my copy of master did not have this addition. We pushed that up to GitHub, so GitHub's copy of master had this image, right, that we added. Mm-hmm. Then, right, we merged it into the master branch that's on github.com. My local master branch does not have this new commit. So if we like pull down the remote master and then merge it into our local master, our change is in there.
Okay. So we should always update our local master after updating.
Generally, yeah, like after something's been merged, right? Like if I want to branch off again, I kind of want it like at the most like up-to-date point in time that I can. Ideally, when you work, like this doesn't always happen, but when you're working on different branches, you and your partner should be working on different files and different features, so that you avoid a merge conflict. Sometimes it happens, like you have to touch the same file, and then you'll have to like figure out what version of the file you want to keep. Go ahead.
So should you have like a development branch that you branch off from? Because master should be for production, and you only have like a website with like one thing. Is that still like okay for production?
Oh, so you're saying like how many? Yeah, I mean like you can. It depends. Like some people have like a master branch, and then there's a development branch, and then from there they like branch off. Yeah. Yes, also, but for our purposes, like we're just gonna kind of like stay in like kind of this like intro world, right? Master, another branch. If you want to like get a little bit more complicated, you can. But for now, we can just kind of like keep it a little bit simpler. Other questions? Yes.
When you went back to your local machine,
Yes.
I might have missed it. Did you git pull before you git merged?
Okay. So git pull will fetch the changes from github.com and merge them into my local version of master. What I did was git fetch and then a git merge. So like git pull will accomplish the same thing, right? If I call git pull, it's going to like grab all the changes from my current branch, which is master, on GitHub, and then merge them into my local copy of master, right? That's probably the more common command that you've seen, but what it's actually doing is a fetch and a merge. It's like kind of like a 2 command in 1. Make sense? Questions about this workflow? Okay. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to show you. I'm not sure if y'all are aware of this, but let's say that I'm working on my project And I want to keep track of like what needs to happen. There's a couple things that I can do. I can actually just like create, actually, we might get to this later. Kind of like a simple version is I can actually create a new issue on my project and say, add, what's a feature that somebody's working on?
Add win percentage.
Win percentage. Currently, we have no way of calculating user win percentages, right? And I can say like, you know what? I'm going to assign myself to this. This is I'm owning this particular like issue, right? I can submit a new issue. Right? And let's say that, okay, great, I'm back here, and I make like, great, fix win percentages. Right? Let's say I'm going to git checkout fix win. Oh, sorry. Did everybody see what happened? What did I miss? What did I forget here? Right, dash B will create a new branch and switch to it for me. Right, switch to a new branch called fix win. Now I'm going to call git status. Oh, great, I can see that this file has changed. If I call git diff master, I can see, great. Here's my code that fixes the win percentage or like implements this feature, right? Let's say that this looks good, right? I'm going to add my files to the staging area, right? If I call git status again, I can see, great. These files are ready to be committed. If I wanted to create a new snapshot of now like my new feature, what's the command for that? Dash M, add win percentages. Okay. Great. And then what do I want to do if I want my partner to review this? Git push. Okay. From github.com, all right, it's going to be super nice to me and say, oh, great, a new branch was pushed. Let's compare with our master branch and create a new pull request. We can also say, like, addresses number 2, which is kind of cool, right? Like, you can actually reference issues in your pull request so that they, like, link to each other. Addresses number 2, adds win percentage for the game. And as usual, right, I'm going to assign myself because like I'm owning this particular issue or feature, and I'm going to add my other like my partners. So Zach and Hamza are going to take a look at my code. Right? We can see here the difference is great. I've fixed the win percentages. Create my pull request. Great. Yes?
Say I'm working like kind of on 2 features at the same time in 2 different branches.
Ooh, okay.
And I push from one, does the other get pushed up to GitHub as well?
No. No. You'd have to like push each branch by itself. Yeah, when I call like git push, it's just pushing like my current branch that I'm on right now. Okay. Zach, can I? Let me see how to do. I'm trying to think of a way to do this. Because I want to show them like what it looks like for you to like review a pull request. Let me do that next. Let me merge this in, and then we'll do another one so you can see like what the other side of it looks like. Go ahead.
Is there a command to do like the add, commit, push, all in like one thing?
There is if you make an alias. If you do it yourself, then yes, there's. Okay. Cool. So again, we're assuming now Hamza and Zach say, great, code looks awesome. I tested it on my machine, looks great, no problems here. I'm going to go ahead and merge the pull request, confirm merge, and delete my branch now that I'm done with it. Again, right, like what have I just done? Exactly, right? back to our little diagram. I've branched off, created, well, in this case, one commit. And what I now want to do is add this into master. So master is now up to date with our branch. Okay. I've done that on the remote, but does my local copy of master know about this? Know about these changes? No. We can actually verify this, right? If I, from my local machine, if I git checkout master and I git log -n, let's say like the last 5 commits, --1 line, we can see, right? Merge pull request, learn co students add comment feature, right? But we go back up here and take a look at our commits. Last commit, merge pull request number 3, and we actually don't have that, right? So if I want to, right, like I did this before with a fetch and merge, if I want to take the changes that are on the remote copy of master and grab them down onto my machine, what's the command for this? Git pull. Right? Alternatively, right, we can fetch and then merge or git pull. Great. Now if I go back to my last command, I can see, great. Merge pull request number 3 is our most recent commit. Yes?
Are you the people that can merge or can your reviewers or collaborators?
Any of them, you can set Git, you can like lock certain branches, right? Like you can make master like a protected branch, so like at least 3 people have to approve a request before it gets merged. I think the default is like anybody can merge, but generally like if I'm working on an issue and I'm like assigned to the pull request, I'll be the one that merges it because I'm like owning it. But it doesn't, out of the box, it doesn't stop anybody from doing that. You can change the permissions though if you wanted to. Questions? Okay, I want to do 2 more things. I want to show you how to use the projects feature on GitHub. And then I might make that a separate video actually. I'll just like, because that's like a little bit of a different topic. Yeah, let's actually see what this looks like from the other side. So I'm going to pause this real quick. Now, right, my partner, someone else on my team, has made some changes on another branch and wants to merge those changes into master. I've been assigned to review the pull request. If I refresh the page, hang on. I should get a notification from GitHub. Yeah, right. Will tell me, oh great, someone has like tagged me on a pull request. Right, Zach has requested your review on this pull request. Right, the reviewer is me. I can see here. Okay, I can kind of like look at the files that are changed. Okay, he added this message. I can add a comment and say like, nice. Right, add a single comment. I have a couple of options from here. Right, like I can review the changes. I can say like. General feedback, I can approve, or I can request changes and say, hey, wait, let's change this before we merge this in. I can also open up the command line instructions. Right, so from here, I can just copy this. So notice what this is doing. Git fetch origin, right? So grab all the changes on the remote, check out his branch, and then merge master into his branch. So I can actually test the changes on his branch on my machine before approving this. So I can just paste these in. And now if I call git branch, I can see that I'm on Zachberry patch 2. Right? I'm on his branch right now. Git diff master, and I can see, right, that's a difference. He added this nice little message. If I wanted to, I could test out the code. I could run this, kind of like walk through the code that he's written, make sure that it looks good. Assuming that it looks good, I can either merge this from my machine, right, merge this locally and push it up to GitHub, or, right, I can say, great, approve, looks good to me, and maybe we can drop like Guy Fieri in here. Great. And then Zach would be the one that would actually click this merge pull request, right? Because like he's the one that's responsible for this. I'd rather have him do it But yeah, and then that would be it. His changes would be added into the master branch. Yes?
So whenever you're doing a new feature, fixing a bug,
Mhm.
creating a new branch every time?
Yeah, you should be.
On our projects, we basically just branched, like whenever I get to a branch on master.
Okay.
We're just constantly pushing that out, merging it into master, and then pulling back down so we should have each of those changes.
Yes.
Is that creating like more work for ourselves, or is that?
No.
Okay, okay.
No. What would be creating, well, the question of like what would be creating more work, there's a lot of different ways. Not using Git and just like having like file version 1.js, right? File version 2.js, right? Like this is the problem we're trying to solve. Right? Having 10 copies of a file called like index.js-final, right? We obviously don't want that. It's a nightmare. We don't know what's going on. I think there's a meme. I'll send out the meme. There's something about that, like not using Git. I'll find out where that lives. But yeah, that's your general workflow, right? I work on a small feature. Ideally, I'm not working on the same files as somebody else. If I am, then there's going to be a merge conflict. Do we want to see merge conflicts real quick? Okay, yeah, I would imagine we've run into them. Zach, can you do me a favor? On master, actually, yeah, just let me think of the best. All good. Yeah, let's just try to like force a merge conflict. So git checkout master, right? Notice again, right? Like there's a change on GitHub. I'm gonna pull this down into my local master, right? Like I've added Zach's changes. So, oh, easy. Let's do something. Let's both actually just like you commit to master from github.com and I'll also make a change on master.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, let's just touch the same file. Will this make a merge conflict?
You want to just commit to master.
Dangerously, yeah. Commit to master.
Double checking.
Just do it. Okay.
Done.
Okay. Sorry. Git status. Okay. Right. I've made a change, unaware that Zach has made some change. Okay. I want to add this to my staging area. Right. Git. Right. So basically, right, like the same file has been touched. I'm just going to like continue through my regular workflow, and let's see what happens if we can automatically merge this in. So I'm going to git checkout -b add I don't know the lazy loader, something like that. Do we all know what a lazy loader is, by the way? Oh, the mod2 people .com/coffee. If you are unfamiliar with possibly my favorite Twitter bot of all time, right? I'm on twitter.com. I scroll down to the bottom of the page, right? I see a little loading spinner for a sec. It's a little too fast. Let me see if I can force this. Let's do low-end mobile. Why is this so huge? Great. So I'm gonna make my internet connection look like it's like low-end mobile. This is just something that's like built into Chrome. You can like force it into like performing a little bit slowly. I scroll down and notice that there's this little loading spinner. Oh, great. Loading seems to be taking a while. But a lazy loader is basically just like I scroll down to the bottom of the page, JavaScript sends a request to the server, gets some data back, adds it to the page for me. And let's say that that's what my feature is. I want to add a lazy loader. Git status. Great, right? This file has been modified. It's not currently in the staging area. How do I add it to the staging area? Git add, right? My file. Git status again tells me, great, changes to be committed. So in the staging area, in the pre-commit stage, you can say git commit -m, add lazy loader to, I don't know, landing page or something like that. Okay. Git status. Okay. And now, how do I take my branch and move it up to GitHub? Git push. Great, add lazy loader, less than a minute ago. Let's compare and pull request. Ah, wait, why are we not, did we not touch the same line? Zach, do me a favor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just like line 174, just like type some nonsense in there. I want to make it like super explicitly that we're touching the exact same line of the exact same file. Right, so Git is going to be confused and say, wait. Two commits are touching the same piece of this file. Like, which version do you want me to hang on to? Which one is the one you actually care about? All right. Let me know when you did it. Great. Surprisingly difficult to like fake a merge conflict. There we go. Can't automatically merge. Oh no. I've got a problem here. Let's find out. Let's just say lazy loader for life. Again, I'm going to assign myself, and I'm going to add Zach to review this. Right, create the pull request. And let's see what we get. Uh-oh. This branch has conflicts that must be resolved. And then Git is going to tell me use the web editor or the command line to resolve conflicts. Anybody have a preference about like which way we do this? Editor? Okay. Actually, let's do this from the command line because Adam actually has some pretty cool. Was that you? Sorry. Sorry. Okay. So what I can do, right? From your project repository, bring in the changes and test. So what I'm going to do is git checkout master. Okay, so from master, right? Because the idea is we want to take add lazy loader and add it to master. So from my machine, I'm going to check out to master, and then I'm just going to copy these commands, right? Fetch origin, so grab all the code that's on the remote, check out this branch, and then merge master into it. Oh, sorry. This should be, yeah. Git checkout add. Does everybody see what this error is? Trying to create a new branch that already exists. So what I can do is actually just check out that branch, right? And then git merge master into it. Already up to date. Git status. Wait, what? Where's my merge conflicts? Git fetch origin. Git checkout origin lazy loader. Git why am I not getting this? Will this make a merge conflict? Let's try to figure this out. What's going on here? Add lazy loader. Git fetch origin. Yeah. Checkout master. Git merge. Yeah, lazy loader. That's so weird. I don't know what's going on. What I should need to do is, right, like if I git checkout master, right? I pull master down. Oh, okay. I think I know what I did wrong. So what I should have done. Git branch. Git checkout add lazy loader. If I had git merge origin master, there we go. Okay. The problem is that like I was trying to merge in like my out of date copy of master. What I should have been doing is either updating my copy of master or merging in like origin's copy, right? Because like my version of master didn't have these issues. It's the one that Zach pushed to GitHub. That was the mistake I made. So if I just like git merge like the remote version, like GitHub's version of master, then I'll see, great. Auto merging, merge conflict in 42, automatic merge failed, fix conflicts, and then commit the result. Okay. This is the error message that I'm looking for, right? Git is saying like, hey, I'm trying to automatically merge these files together. I don't know what you want me to do. So if I open up Adam's going to be super, super nice to me and give me this awesome little thingy that says, great, do we want to use our changes or their changes? So we can either just click one of these or we can just get rid of these little flags here and actually keep both. Great. So now if we call git status, git diff master, assuming I spell this right. Oh, I added another one. Where was this? Is it here? Excuse me. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we're just going to keep both of them. If I call git status, right? Now I can say, right, if I want to say like, okay, great, I fixed the merge conflicts, everything looks good. I've chosen like the versions of the file, possibly files that I wanted to change. What I can do is again, git add dot, or git add the name of the file. Git status will tell me, great, this is in the staging area. Git commit -m, we're going to say fix merge conflicts. And right, notice what branch am I currently on? Lazy loader, right? I'm not on master. So I'm going to fix the merge conflicts. And what I can do is now that I've created another snapshot where the merge conflicts have been fixed, I can just say, hey, git push. And if we go back to GitHub, right, I think this actually refreshes automatically. Yeah, great. Now we can say, great, this has no more conflicts. If we look again at the files changed, refresh, right, we have now 2 commits, add lazy loader and fix merge conflicts. Clear on this so far? Right. Did I go too fast with this? Do we want to see this again? Like what this? Right. So these little flags here, this like dash dash head thing and this origin master, it's just going to tell you like what's the version of this file from each branch. If I want to keep both of them, I just get rid of these little flags. Right. Okay. And then I can just merge the pull request and delete my branch. Nice. We still have a pull request? Update readme. Oh, okay. Cool. Other questions about this so far? Yes.
When we merge like that on GitHub and then delete the branch remote, we also need to do it locally.
Great question.
You keep that as like a backup.
If I delete the branch on GitHub, do I still have the branch locally? Well, let's find out. What do we think? Git checkout master, right? I'm going to say git pull. Okay. If I call git branch, what do we expect to see? Yeah. But if I call git branch -r for remote, what do we expect to see here?
All the branches.
Origin, master, yeah. Well, this is from Zach's. Origin, yeah. Git fetch origin, yeah. Git branch -a, right? -a will tell me like all of the branches that I have. Add comment feature, right? So yeah, I will need to like delete these branches myself. Other questions? Yes.
What's the best way to avoid conflicts?
Don't work on the same file at the same time. Or if you're going to work on the same file, pair on it on one person's computer. The question was, how do I avoid merge conflicts? Don't touch the same file at once. In an ideal world, that never happens. Sometimes it happens.
Don't be scared of merge conflicts.
Also that, yeah. Like, I know that it's really not that big a deal. Yeah. It's not that hard to fix. You know, take a look. What version of this do I want to keep? What version looks good? Test it. Fine. They happen sometimes. They're, you know, can't always avoid them, but we can do our best. Cool. Other questions about this? Cool. Yes?
Can I ask about just a different command that my group has been using, but I still don't understand?
Are you the rebase group?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. That's like, we don't need to get into rebasing, but like, basically the benefit of rebasing, I don't know where y'all found that, but basically the benefit of rebasing is like, notice that if I go to the commits here, I have all these commits like merge pull request. I have merge pull request, right? If we rebase, we can actually avoid having extra commits about merging. and just make it look like kind of like one contiguous branch. But it's like, it's a lot of extra work, and this is fine. You don't worry about rebasing for now. Let's start with let's start with some of the basics, and then we can, if you want to learn about rebasing, we can do that later. But we don't really necessarily need to learn that right now. It's a little bit more of an advanced topic. Cool. Another thing too that's kind of neat about Git, real quick, if I call git log, and I don't, I'm sorry. What is it? Git log -- decorate. Evans, do you remember what this is to like show me like what the branches are? Like git log -- one line -- decorate. It's like,
Yeah, that's it.
is it why is it not sure? But it usually gives you like the little carrots showing you where the branches are. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did I just forget what that command is?
Put git -- up.
Yeah. But basically, there's a command where in your log you can actually show you like where. Wait, these are too big. It'll show you like where you branched off, kind of visually. Was it info? I thought it was decorate. Git log -- one line -- decorate. I just tried that. Why would that work again? Yeah, I'll follow up and get back to you on it. Dang, I thought I knew what that command was. Git log show branch.
Full diff.
Is that what it is?
Full dash diff.
Full -diff. Git log with branch name. Oh, -- graph.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Git log -- graph. Here we go. It'll actually show me like, here's my master branch. Merged, branch, merged. So I can like visually see like where I branched off. Just kind of cool, like these little carroty friendos here, right? Branch, commit, 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 right? So I can visually see like the timeline of like where I branched off. That's what it was. I don't know why I thought, what does decorate do?
It adds a color.
Oh, well, I think I have that by default then. I think y'all do too. If you guys cloned like our bash profile like on day one, you get some like shortcuts, right? Like if you call GST, it's like short for git status. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, that's all I have for you. I'll send out something about like using the projects feature, just like a bonus. Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. So let's say that I goofed. I made a mistake. Uh-oh. Git log -n, let's say like the last 5 commits. Let's say that my lazy, this update readme was actually, you know what, I messed up. So what I can actually do is, you know, the git checkout command can check out a different branch. We can also look at a particular commit at a particular point in time. So what I can do is say git checkout. And notice what I did, right? Like I grabbed these logs and I actually copied like the ID of the commit that I want to look at. So I can say, git checkout and then paste in this ID. Great. And git is going to give me this big scary message. You are in detached head state. You can look around, make experimental changes and commit them, and you can discard any commits you make in this state without impacting any branches. If you want to create a new branch to retain commits you may do so now or later. What the hell does that mean? What is the head? Does anybody know? Well, Evans, what's our head? We're looking at our little graphy friendo here. Yeah, exactly. The latest little friendo here in our tree, right? The latest like node in our graph, right? But what we've done is we've actually gone back in time. Like our head is here, right? This is our latest point in time. We've actually gone back here. I can't actually make changes to this thing back in time. In order to make changes, I have to branch off from this point in time and then merge back into master. So let's say that I want to undo a change. What I can do is I can check out this particular point in time, right? If we look here, back at my text editor, we'll notice that some of the changes that we made Should be gone. Yeah, this is the correct version. Merge me, don't listen to Andrew, right? My message was actually gone, right? So what we can do is actually say git checkout -b. So from this particular commit ID, this point in time, right, from like here, I want to check out a branch from this point in time and say remove Zach message. Actually, okay, we might get a merge conflict. Fine, we'll just fix it. So I'm on a new branch now, and let's say that I actually, you know what? I don't want any of this code. This was all a mistake. I've made a terrible mistake. Okay? I'm just going to delete those lines and say, right, git status. We've modified this file, so I'm going to git add the file to the staging area, right? Git status again will tell me that this file is modified. It's ready to be committed. So I can now create a new snapshot, again, on my new branch. So I'm out here somewhere, right? I've branched off from some particular point in time, and I'm creating a new snapshot. So git commit -m. Let's say undo breaking changes, breaking lazy loader changes. I don't know. All right, let's say like we introduced something that broke our app, and we just want to like, hey, let's just go back. Okay, if I call git get status, great. Now I want to git push so that my new branch is on GitHub. I go back to github.com, and you can see again, remove Zach message less than a minute ago. Let's compare and pull requests. We might get a merge conflict. I would imagine we will. Yeah, we will, because we touch the same files. Removing some broken changes introduced by lazy loader. Okay. Create pull request. And what I'm going to do is just fix these problems. So what I can do, again, right, git fetch origin. So this will grab all the changes on the remote, and I can say git merge origin master. So I want to merge the version of master that's on GitHub into this branch, remove Zach message. Okay, and I get merge conflict error message, right? Because I'm saying, hey, take this stuff, take our current master on github.com and merge it into my branch, which is like back in time, right? We're like way back here. So I can see, right, which one do I want to use? Their changes or our changes? Well, I'm just going to say, let's use our changes. Right? We've removed these quote-unquote breaking changes. If I call git status again, I'll see the file is modified. Again, I want to create another snapshot now that I've fixed the merge conflicts. So git add.git commit -m fix merge conflicts in removing breaking code. Git push. Back from GitHub. And 2 commits, and now we're good. So we've gone back in time, right? We've like undone some of our code. Yes, we had to fix a merge conflict. Okay, fine, no big deal. Yes.
But isn't this all like registered views? Like this is like a public thing, and you like you're just staying in copy.
Yes, it is.
You want to make it like a private thing.
Yeah. So this is the case where like, hey, I've made a mistake and I want this mistake and the removal of it to be in my commit history, right? We can see here, right? I have some commit, undo breaking changes, fix merge conflicts, right? Like this is still in the history. Let's say that like I really want to cover my tracks. Let's say that I just want to like, you know what? Let's just totally nuke this and leave no sign, no trace of this code. Git checkout master, okay, git pull, right, because we made some changes. Git log -n for --1 line. I think yours does this by default, like your git config if you got from the day 1 setup. Actually, let's go back, like way back in time. Let's say like 5, or maybe how about 7 commits back. We want to go back really far in time. What I can actually do is grab this particular commit ID and say git reset -- hard that particular commit ID. Be careful with this, please. What do you think is going to happen to all of my commits if I reset hard to some particular point in time? Gone. Okay? And now, to get this up, I'd have to git push forcefully. Right? -F is saying like, hey, you know what? Let's just force this up. I don't care what's on GitHub. Make it even with what I have here. And we look at our commits. Suddenly, we've lost a bunch of commits. Forever. Forever. Off the face of the earth. Gone. Goodbye. Please. If you're going to undo something, be careful with this. This is might be too powerful. But like, let's say that, okay, I accidentally pushed up like an API key and it's like 1 commit ago. Fine. Just do that. But otherwise, if you want to undo something, stick to keeping it in your history, because you never know what you might need. As long as it's not anything that's going to harm you, just keep it. Okay. Other questions? I know this was a lot of information. However, as per usual, this README goes through everything we talked about today, as well as this pretty dank Git cheat sheet. Look at this. Nice. Oh, and our pupper's still there. I'm going to keep that in. I'm going to leave that. Okay? Just like a cheat sheet for some commands to run. Yeah, checking out an older commit. I'll update this because I went into a little bit more detail than I did in the README. But yeah, give you some like workflow suggestions. Cool. Any other questions? We feel good? Feel better about Git? Feel like we can collaborate, get some momentum, get some work done? Yeah. Nice. Thanks, everybody.